All right, so for this lesson, we start off with the story problem. Carolina earns $5 per hour working at a local pet store. The equation and graph below show how the M represents the money she earns, relates to H, the hours that she works. Then we have a space here to identify our independent variable and a space to identify our dependent variable. Then we have our equation here. So they already gave us the equation. M, the money she earns, will be the answer to how many hours she works times 5. Because remember, she earns $5 per hour. So it's 5 times the amount of hours she works will give you M, the total money she earns. So looking at this and thinking about the story problem, independent variable. You have these two variables. Which of those two variables does it not matter what number it is? It can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I were to say M can be any number, how would that make this equation true? Can M be 0? It doesn't really make sense. So M cannot be my independent variable because it's telling me right here M is what? 5 times H equals. H can be any number, right? She can work for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Depends on how many hours she works, she wants to work. H is independent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't depend on anything. It's how much she chooses to work. So H is my independent variable, the hours she works. My dependent variable, M, is my dependent variable because in this equation, I can see that M depends on what 5 times the amount of hours she works is. This is the answer to that. So this depends on what you're multiplying. This depends on how many hours she works times 5. M is dependent on 5 times H. So M is my dependent variable, the amount of money she earns. All right, so now that we identified our independent variable and our dependent variable, I want to move down here to our table. So this is a ratio table. A ratio table. This is a way we can organize our ratios, but you can also try doing this kind of table, right? Which is what we've been doing before. M and H. This is also a table that you can use. So looking at this ratio table, there's a missing piece right here. So let's see if we can figure it out. We know she earns $5 per hour. On the top is how much money she earns. On the bottom is how many hours she works. So for 1 hour, she earns $5. For 2 hours, she earns $10. For 3 hours, she earns $15. For 4 hours, she's gonna earn, 20, right? Because it's increasing by 5 because it's $5 per hour. So the rate, right? Because we've been learning about rates as well, is $5 per 1 hour. So if it's 4 hours, it's going to be $20. And if you were to have created this table, right? Usually would have put it backwards, hours here and money earned here. 1 hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. There. All right, so moving on to this graph. The graph it's already done for you on the worksheet, but I just wanted to do it from scratch so you guys can remember how to do one of this. So if she works for 0 hours, she's gonna earn $0, right? 0, 0. So I'm gonna start here. If she works for 1 hour, Oh, I forgot to label this. These are the hours she works, right? Hours, and this is how much she earns. So the money. I'm gonna highlight that just so it stays organized. Hours. And the money. Right? The money right here. Money, money. And then hours worked, hours. All right. So now that I can make that connection, money, money, hours, hours, let's finish my graph. So she works 0 hours, she's gonna earn $0, right? So 0, 0. If she works for 1 hour, she's going to earn $5. 1 hour, $5. 1, 5. If she works for 2 hours, she's gonna earn $10. 2 hours, $10. She works for 3 hours, she's going to earn $15. So 3, 15. She works for 4 hours, she's going to earn $20. 4 hours, $20. How much will she earn in 5 hours? 5 hours, $5 per hour. So I'm just going to leave it up to 4 hours, figure out how much she earns for 5 hours, and connect it. But the worksheet doesn't go up to 5. I just went up to 5. All right. So this is how the graph looks like. I used this table to help me graph this. The hours were in the bottom. The money was on the side. Hours, hours, money, money. All right. So moving on to the bottom questions. What does 0.315 on the graph represent? So 315, remember, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. X-axis, y-axis, x, y, x, y, 315. So 315, this point. What does this point represent? Well, it represents that she works 3 hours and she earns $15 for those 3 hours she works. So in your own words, write that there. What does 315 mean? It means that she works 3 hours, right? And she earned how much? Describe how the graph and table can be used to find the number of hours Caroline works when she earns $20. We already took that one step and figured out how much hours she works when she earns $20. So think back to how we did that. How did this help us predict this? How did this help us predict this one? How did we predict how many hours she was gonna have to work to earn $20? Explain that in your own words. Now, last question. Describe how the equation, right here, this equation, can be used to find how much Caroline, I keep saying Carolina, it's Caroline. How much Caroline earns after working for 15 hours. So far we figured out how much she earns when she works for 4 hours, and some of us have figured out how much she earns when she works for 5 hours. Now think about it. How much would she earn for 15 hours? This equation right here can quickly help us because remember, the amount of hours she works can be replaced in the variable because H represents the amount of hours she works. So basically, we would have to substitute, right? Because they're telling us, what if H equals 15? What would M equal? So if H equals 15, we got to plug it in. M equals 5 times 15, right? They're telling us H equals 15. What is M? Plug that in. So M equals 5 times 15. And 5 times 15 is, let me do a little math on the side. 25, 5, 6, 7, 75. So if she works for 15 hours, she will earn $75. If H equals 15, M will equal $75. So in your own words, kind of explain that. And then you're off. You're set to do practice number 1 on your own.